All our adult animals will have colors assigned to them. Utilize these colors to know which animals you can interact with. Blue is for Super Mutt Squad. This is a kid summer school program, but any dog with a blue sign means we believe the dog may be okay with those 15 and under. Green means all volunteers can interact with this dog. Yellow means intermediate volunteers can interact with this dog. Orange means experienced volunteers only, and red means staff only. No volunteers allowed. Now let's go over the dog safety checklist. Each location will have one on every single adult dog's kennel. Highland and Edwardsville have one different thing on their dog safety checklist, and that is where you see DoorDasher. For Highland, green is DoorDasher, where DoorDasher on Edwardsville is yellow. This is due to the kennel system that is different based on each location. At our Edwardsville location, those under green are dogs that may be strong and pulls on leash. This means they may have a certain type of walking tool to help counteract that. Yellow means dogs that might bite at the leash, that are barrier active, charges kennels, are DoorDashers, or flight risks, are fearful or shy, are jumpy, leash reactive to either dogs, people, or cars, or mouthy. If the dog has the check next to bites leash, they may have a metal leash on their door. This is to help counteract when they bite at the leash. Many times dogs bite at the leash when they are frustrated, and the shelter is a very stressful environment, so it's not uncommon to see dogs that bite at leashes. If they do this, many times you can take another leash and have them walk on each one. So if they start biting one, you drop that leash so you're still holding the other one. If there is barrier activity selected, that means that the barrier of the kennel, the dog may bark or growl at someone, but the minute the kennel doors open, they are okay. This is due to a variety of reasons, primarily due to shelter stress. It could be because they have poor vision and they're not able to figure out who is outside of their kennel. It could be multiple reasons. The main point is, even though the dog is barking and growling at you through the barrier, it does not mean that they will continue this once that door is open. If you need help getting these animals out, please ask staff, but generally, as soon as you open that door, they're fine to just grab their leash and go on out. If they have a charging kennels check, that means you have to be cautious when walking them through the kennel. This is more relevant at our Edwardsville location, as what will happen is they will start charging at the dogs when they're walking through. So you have to keep those dogs on a short leash as you're walking through the kennel room. If you see DoorDasher, that means that the dog tries to get out the kennel door when you're either putting them up or getting them out. At our Highland location, this is a green because it's easier to get them in and out of those kennel doors. But our Edwardsville locations, our doors are a little bit more tricky. So if they have this, please be cautious when putting them in and out, as they might be trying to run out the door. If they have flight risk, that means while outside of the shelter, not actually inside the shelter, they might be at risk of getting away. So always make sure you have the leash wrapped around your hand tightly to be safe. If they have fearful and shy, that means these dogs are fearful or shy of new people. Usually with these animals, they might have a drag leash on. We will talk about that at the end of this video. For dogs that are jumpy, they are dogs that might be jumping on you when you go and enter these kennels. This is usually due to shelter stress. If you need to take pet corrector or spray bottle with you to help counteract these behaviors, you can, but generally the best way to deal with it is grab their leash and get them out of the kennel as soon as possible. Because once they are out of the kennel room, they tend to calm down and are much easier to handle. If they have leash reactivity, that means they are reactive to certain things while on leash. That means they may lunge, growl, or pull at those items. Each animal may be reactive to different objects. It could be towards other dogs, it could be towards other people, it could be due to cars. When you have those animals out, try to avoid those triggers as much as possible. If they have a mouthy selected, that means that they tend to use their mouth to try and communicate with you, or that they're frustrated and they're using their mouth. It doesn't mean that they're trying to be aggressive, but many times these animals may accidentally mouth you a little bit too hard and it can be painful. For these animals, they may have a drag leash, so that way you can get them out of the kennel as soon as possible, because stress can make mouthy behaviors worse, or you might have a spray bottle or pet corrector on the kennel to utilize when interacting with them. For orange, you may see resource guarding towards people. This means if they have either the food or toys selected, do not give those things to them, and if they do have them, do not take them from them. If they accidentally get these items, whenever you're interacting with them, you can always ask staff for help, or you simply do not take it from them and instead give them something rather have, so then you could trade them for it. This is something that we will demonstrate in person. Redirection risks means these animals may charge the kennels, and if they get frustrated enough, they may redirect towards you and bite at your legs. For these animals, generally we try to set them up in certain kennels so that way that they're not seeing any dogs when they're coming out. Or you may have a pet corrector with you when you're taking these dogs out. This does not happen very frequently, but we always want everyone to be prepared. Resistance to handling means these dogs are touch sensitive. They may not like their feet being touched, their ears, their chest, or something else. With these animals, it's important to not touch them in these areas. You should do minimum handling and just grab the leash when you're taking them out and take them for the walk. Do not touch them in the areas that they have issues with. Stranger danger dogs are dogs that associate new people as danger. These animals may growl, lunge, or try to bite new strangers. These animals may need a special introduction with you that staff can help with, or they may be fearful and reserved whenever meeting you. Generally, these animals, the best policy is less is more. Do not try to overwhelm them by petting them, give them space, and let them acclimate to you on their own terms. Red animals are animals that may be on a quarantine for bite hold, or that they still need their rabies shot. You will also see that we have some other options. These are not categorized into the color levels, but we still think it's relevant for you to know. If they have dog aggressive, that means do not put them around any other dogs ever. If they have obstruction risks, that means do not give them any toys or blankets. If they have fence jumper, that means you have to be cautious when they are outside. Please keep an eye on them so they do not try jumping the fence. Resource guarding towards dogs mean that they might guard items such as food or toys from other dogs, and then we also have a blank space for others. Now the tools section, these will be hanging up on their kennel door. In the next video session, we will go over what each of these things mean and how you utilize them. But many times our animals will have these things to help us better interact with them. They will have leave my drag leash on. That means that they have a leash on all the time. You never take it off. It's simply just dragging with them. It could be because they are shy, jumpy, or they have resistance to handling. When you take these animals out, you simply grab the end of your leash and walk them out with that. You are never putting another leash on them. That way, you're never actually touching them. This many times helps our animals that are really fearful or have handling issues. Again, remember, do not take that leash off when you put them back into the kennel. That is so we can better prepare for the next person that goes and takes them out. Mandatory reverse kennel routine is how we get animals out that may have issues if you enter their kennel. These are for dogs that may have stranger danger or that they're very protective of their kennel. It's a way we can use a drag leash but never actually enter the kennel. In this video, you will see that the leash is long enough that it hangs outside of the kennel. When our volunteer goes to take them out, they grab the end of the leash and then they just open the door. They're never actually stepping foot inside the kennel. When you put these animals back in, you will simply let them go in the kennel and then you then attach the end of that leash back on the outside of the kennel. We will demonstrate this in person as well. If they have an easy walk harness, freedom harness, gentle leader or head halty, prong collar, or leash wrap, that means that they have a certain walking tool that you utilize when taking them outside. We will go over how to use these in the next segment. If they have muzzle on walk, that means that they have to wear a muzzle when they're currently walking. If they have working on muzzle training, that means that they need help getting conditioned to a muzzle. Ask staff for more help. If they have spray bottle or pet corrector, that means you need to take those tools whenever you interact with them. That way, you can better handle them. At our Edwardsville location, when you come in, you will want to look at the walkboard first. This is right by the door that goes into the kennels. On the walkboard, you will find the animal's name, their kennel number, their color level, and the last time that they went out. When you come in, please make sure to look to see who has not been out recently. That is the animal that you want to take out. Here, it will show what the color levels mean and other important information. When you walk into the kennel room, you will see the animal's kennel card. This will show their name. On the back, this is where the dog safety checklist will be. Here, you see that the dog has a jumpy and bites leash notes on there. She doesn't have any currently walking tools, but if they did, they would hang there. We also have treat buckets hanging outside of the kennel doors. These treats are for you to use to be able to get the dogs in and out safely. At our Highland location, our walk board is in the kennel room. When you come in, you go through this door, that's our enrichment board, and then you will walk around. And over by our washer and dryer, you will see the walk board. The walk board is the same as our Edwardsville location. It has the name, kennel number, the color level, and the last time that they went out.